2 feet from I am all I got. Cross-eyed little sharks and minnows, who are they to talk? I'll have visions, brash decisions, 'cause where I walk hard. I don't need a hand 2 feet from I am all I got. Cross-eyed little sharks and minnows, who are they to talk? I don't need it, but I got it. Watch me fall off and come back up. I am certain I'll be hurting when the curtain.
It's like we're on a little mini vacation. It's like we're at the beach. It's kind of like we're in a really big tree house and we wake up every morning and we get to look out. Changing my perspective on things. Yeah, I just feel like I'm on like a little vacation in one of my favorite parts of Paris. I can walk downstairs and I'm in the center of the city. Good morning, you guys. So, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that I left my apartment and I don't really want to go into that too deep right now because it's like the morning time and I just want to feel peaceful. But yeah, basically things took a turn for the worst with my neighbor and my landlord. She has an extra apartment in the Marais, and so she offered for me to stay here for a little while, just like for things to blow over. I, in this situation, am, like I said, I am going to be looking at this as like a little mini vacay. So we're gonna put on some music and dance and practice our gratitude physically.
I don't need a hand 2 feet from I am all I got. Cross-eyed little sharks and minnows.
It's the simple pleasures in life. Coffee, chocolate, bread, sunshine. You have to be grateful for all the little things, because those are the constants, you know. On that note, there's this quote that I really love, and I forgot exactly how it goes, but it says, to be happy like a child would be, just be happy to be alive every day. Because if you're happy for something, if you're happy if you get this certain job, if you're happy if you get this certain boyfriend or whatever it is, all those things can be taken away from you. But if you're just happy to like wake up every morning and just experience life. I stopped telling myself a long time ago that I'll be happier when this happens or that. Like, I try to, and no matter what circumstance, even if it's like shitty, like even if I missed my plane at the airport, or like, of course we can have disappointments, but it's such a gift to wake up every day and just experience life. So I try to just be happy in whatever process I'm in currently and just enjoy that moment, because one day in like 100 years, I'm actually not going to be alive in 100 years unless science, but yeah, because one day when I'm older, I'm gonna look back at the times when I was struggling, or like, you know, maybe I didn't have that much money, but I was just like backpacking or traveling and like roughing it and that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna be like, what a time to be alive, you know? Right now is the time to be alive.
I am a pilgrim, I am a patient, I am a sin insane. You are my dinner, they are my plate. Let's pray before I eat.
Good morning, you guys. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new vlog, and I'm feeling good. Actually, it's the same vlog, but totally different headspace, I think, than when I started vlogging the other day. So I think it's like been like 3-4 days since I started this vlog, and basically after that first day I've been holed up in this apartment just like getting everything ready for my book release. I'm right now on my computer. I am clicking the submit button to publish, and it's just so, yeah, a little bit nerve-wracking, but I'm super excited and grateful. So let's do it. Let's click the submit button on my poetry book. It's done, you guys. Holy fuck. So my poetry book came out yesterday, and I was freaking out because like in the afternoon I started seeing it like going up on the charts, and it was #2 overall in the USA in poetry books on Amazon, #1 in France, and then this morning I saw that it's sitting on the #1 spot in the USA for poetry by women, which is so cool because, you know, like as an indie author and self-publishing your own book, like I really didn't anticipate or expect that at all. So thank you guys so much for the support. And I forgot to say this in the launch video, but if you did get a copy, make sure to review it on Goodreads so other people can find it, and it really helps the book. So I just wanted to say that to you guys. And yeah, I've just been like these last few days like really busy with that. So yesterday, once everything was like done and like published and I like made the announcement, I basically just like crashed, because as much as there's just been like so many amazing things going on, it's such a stark contrast with what I was talking about in the beginning of the vlog. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about that this morning. As you can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm still in the apartment that my landlord lent to me. Yeah, it's just like a tiny apartment. There's not even like a shower or a toilet or anything like that, but this is like life's big contrast, and I'm so grateful. You guys are probably thinking like, Shayna, if there's no shower, how are you taking a shower? Well, I washed my hair in the sink the other day. It's like such a big contrast, I feel like, is like, you know, seeing my list like on the best-selling author list and like next to so many of my so many people I look up to, like Rupi Kaur, and then on the other hand I'm like in this super small apartment with no shower. So I guess that's the artist's life, that's the poet's life. But I have to say, and I've always felt this way, that part of the beauty in life is its contrasts. You know, it's like why being young and in love and broke feels so romantic sometimes, or you know, I can't think of anything else. One of the things that I know I'm gonna remember is I know I'm gonna remember like being in my apartment during this book release and just like having this little small place in the middle of Paris and like being out on the balcony, like drinking a glass of wine and just like, you know, relaxing and you know, just like those contrasts. But yeah, let me show you guys. It's such a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning. Ah. I'm gonna make some coffee. I need like a second cup of Joe. And then I'll recap you guys on like that whole situation because I'm gonna be going back to my old apartment, well, my apartment, in a few days. So I thought that I'd tell you guys like what happened and everything like that, and just like how I've been feeling lately, and do like a little recap. And it's such a freaking beautiful day. I think I'm gonna go out and like enjoy this as well.
I've been waiting for a woman I could call my own. A lady I can call late at night on the telephone. Her daddy won't like the looks of a kid like me. But she'll tell him get lost cause she loves me.
Hi, I'm Yasmin. Nice to meet you all.
Don't worry honey cause nothing ever bothers me. You just be the flower and I'll be the goddamn bee. Now what's so special about a thing that comes so naturally? Well I don't know babe cause nothing ever phases me.
So this morning I was kind of reflecting back on my journey of sharing online and how I've evolved. And I realized like one of the biggest evolutions that I've seen in myself is really starting to become more comfortable with sharing like my full personality, like the goofy sides, the weird sides, like the side of me that only has one butter knife, you know? And I feel like I wanted to share this because no matter what you do in life, when you share your art or you put yourself out there online, there's always gonna be people out there that have opinions on what you're doing and, you know, think that you should be doing something another way, or, you know, you're too much or too little. By trying to please everybody, I feel like we never really get to connect to the people who we could really connect to, you know what I mean? We become just like this watered down version of ourselves. So lately I've been really just trying to lean into like my full personality, you know what I mean? And if people don't like it, like whatever, you know, fuck them. No, just kidding, not fuck them, but you know, because I don't want to make myself small to please other people and their insecurities. I don't want to cut myself down into little slivers to make myself acceptable to other people, you know? And I don't think you should either. And so I feel like looking back at, like, you know, when I first started my journey of sharing online and things like that, I feel like that was the biggest realization that I have had over like the last year, is just like, even if, you know, you might not please everybody, I said this in my last video, but like, people might not like chocolate, but those who do like it are like fucking crazy about it. So don't you want to find the people that really love you? And by watering yourself down to please everybody generally, you're never going to find those people who could really actually care and connect to you. So yeah, having realizations every day. So before we get into the rest of the video, I want to take a moment to thank today's video sponsor, Langoda. As you guys know, I love working with Langoda because their method of teaching is probably the best out there. You learn by speaking with native, qualified teachers. You can take it from anywhere in the world, anytime. They have classes in English, French, German, Spanish, and that's just to name a few. They have small group classes. And what's really great about them is you're really going to learn the language like a native, with the vocabulary of a native, and learn to speak around subjects that actually interest you and not just like, how do I order a coffee? So if you are looking to learn a language and make the most of, you know, this time in quarantine, or maybe you have a big trip coming up in like the summertime, I would highly recommend them. So right now, they only have a few spots left for the Sprint, which is the promotion they're running right now, which is taking 15 classes a month for 3 months in a row. If you complete all that, you get a 50% cashback refund. So you have up until the 23rd of April to sign up. So if you guys are interested, you can use my code for 10 euros off your first month. But without further ado, let's get back into the video. Okay, you guys, we back. I think I'm gonna probably leave this apartment either tonight or tomorrow. My landlady said I could stay until probably like the 22nd, but I mean, I feel like I need to go back home. Even though it has been like really nice here, I just like need to be like with my own stuff. And another thing that kind of freaks me out is if you leave an apartment empty for too long, and like, say for instance like a squatter breaks in or something like that, they legally, like if they've been there for a few days, can stay. It's like so weird in France, the laws around like squatting. This is like a side note, but there's this story about this couple that they had a second home in the south of France, and they sold their apartment in Paris to go retire in France. And when they arrived to their house in the south of France, like there were these squatters that were living there, and they literally couldn't get their house back. And you have to like go to the judge, and it can take like 2 to 3 years, which is crazy to me. But yeah, anyway, gonna go back tonight. And I wasn't really going to talk about this. I like debated whether I was going to talk about this whole situation with my neighbor, just because it's like draining and everything like that. And I definitely don't want to put like any negative energy onto you guys, but I know a lot of you guys are invested into this story. And it was also because of you guys that I kind of decided that like I should take my landlord up on the offer to stay somewhere else. So basically what happened, I'm not going to go back to like the beginning of the story. So I'm sorry if you guys missed that. You just are not going to understand what's going on. But basically I was having some issues with my neighbor. So after the last kind of confrontation where she left like trash in front of my door and was threatening me and stuff like that, mind you, all this is just because I asked her to stop smoking in the hallway. Because after that last confrontation, which was like pretty violent on her end, I was just like standing there like, what the fuck? Because I don't like engaging with people and like giving them energy. But I was really just kind of like cornered and in a bad place because she like snuck up on me and surprised me at the end of a hallway. Anyway, but after that, it was kind of like radio silence. I hadn't heard, like, there was no other confrontation after that, and I just figured it was done, and I was pretty grateful just because I don't like want to compromise my peace. Like, there's this saying, like, sometimes peace is better than winning. So I would like realize I wasn't dealing with a rational person. But after that day when like everything went down and she left like the trash and was threatening me, I did go to the police station just to report it because in France, if you don't do that, then if something worse happens, they don't take it as seriously. So I definitely wanted to create like at least like a little file like of these instances, which is anybody, like if this happens to you, you should definitely do that. And even though it's annoying to go down to the police station and they don't think it's a big deal or whatever, just like having that kind of stuff on file is really important. And basically after that, I had heard nothing and things kind of went back to normal. Like I crossed her in the hallway once and she was like laughing like a crazy person, but I just like, I'm very protective of my energy, so. But meanwhile, like I had told my landlord what was going on so that she knew. And so basically she had contacted her landlord and her landlord had contacted her and she like flipped out. And one morning at like, this was like 2 weeks after the last incident that I told you guys about, she like banged on my door at like 7 a.m. and was like on the phone with somebody screaming like, it's the American girl, it's the American girl. And you imagine like waking up to that, and super stressful. So I just like pretended I was at home, didn't answer it because my apartment's at the end of a hallway and I'm just like basically cornered in that position. And the thing that you guys have to realize about power, if you guys haven't read this book, there's a book called, I think it's called The 48 Laws of Power, and it teaches you so much about like power dynamics and stuff. And one of the biggest things that decides whether somebody has power or not is they decide when things happen. So if they are the ones that decide when they get to talk to you, if they're the ones that decide when you're going to have an argument or where or anything, they're the ones that have power because they're deciding everything. So I wasn't going to let her decide when she got to talk to me or where or whatever. So I didn't answer the door. And so she thought I was at home. And so she started trying to like force the door, which for me is like totally crazy. You know, like that's totally past the limits. And I had told her on many occasions, like, don't come up to my door, like this is like my sacred space, whatever. And also like the door to my apartment isn't like a really sturdy door. Like it's, you know, it has double locks on it, but it's not like a metal door or anything like that. I contacted my friend. She's like, you have to go down to the police station just to let them know, because like that's not normal. Like she thinks you're not home and she's gonna try and force the door. And so I went down there, and so at this point I have two like police reports against her. And I went home that night. I wasn't worried or anything because my landlord called me with some good news. Sorry, I keep looking over here, but I know the things over here. My landlord called me with some good news, and she said that she talked to her landlord, the girl's landlord, and she's leaving the 1st of April. And I was like, oh, cool, whatever. I can deal with this for like a few more days. 1st of April. This was like, you know, the 30th of March or something like that. But then that night when I got home, I was listening to music and blaring the music, and all of a sudden like a knock on my door again, but very violent, like knocking, and my music was blasting. So I just turned up my music and I was like, bitch, don't even, like, I'm not gonna answer the door. And I just don't want to have any interaction with this person. That's why like I do everything through the police. I do everything, like I don't want to talk to her, you know? So I kept like the music really loud, and then she could see that I was home, but then she started trying to force the door again. And I was really freaked out because it's like the audacity, like, you know, I'm home and you're still trying to do that. Like you're trying to scare me or something. Like, don't do that. Like, really put into perspective to me, like the situation. So I let my landlord know again, like what was going on. And she offered for the second time. And like, by the way, she's been like amazing through this, like super supportive, anything I needed. She actually even offered to lower my rent because of this situation, which is like so nice. She doesn't have to do that. And I just feel like I got really lucky with the landlord that I have. And like, so she offered up her place in the Marais, like I told you guys in the beginning. And she had done this one time before, and I said no, but like this time I just really felt like my book is coming out in a week and I just feel so stressed about the situation, so I took her up on it. And like, mind you, like this is her apartment, but like I think she only stays like every once in a while here because obviously doesn't have a shower or anything like that. She lives in New York, and I think she has like a few different houses. So, But yeah, like this is her own place. It's not just like an extra apartment she has. So we've never met in person, and she just offers me up her own place, which is super cool. And that night I had the key, and honestly, like I think that if I had stayed there, like I don't think the girl would have tried to like really attack me, but it was just a very stressful situation. So that's why I decided to like take the week and stay in this place here. And like I said, I think it's been for the best. But on the kind of bad news came. So my landlady told me that she got in contact with the girl's landlord and told like him the entire situation. And she asked him, she's like, so you're leaving she's leaving the 1st of April, right? Because you're selling the place. And he said, no, she's leaving. I'm selling my place from the 1st of April, but she'll be leaving once the place is sold. So this is like bad news, because that means she's basically gonna be there when I go back. It'd take a while probably to sell a house. But yeah, that's just basically why I've been here this last week. And because a lot of you guys were asking me like, oh my god, what happened? And honestly, I feel like if I would have stayed there, I don't think, you know, anything horrible would have happened. I just think it would have been really stressful. And you know, when she offered me up the place, I was like, yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna do it this time. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys basically what's going on. And I think I'm gonna go back like either tonight or tomorrow, just because it's been like a week, and come on, like, you know, I'll definitely keep you guys updated if anything else happens with that. But I don't want that to take away from like all the beauty of this week. However, I do think like it's interesting like that in our life we can have so many different things going on, and it's so true that like in one part of our life when something is flourishing, oftentimes we find that we have issues in another part of our life. And I think it's really important to normalize that like our life can't be perfect all the time in all areas. I guess the most important part that I've like taken away from this experience is to protect my energy. And you know, before I might have answered the door just because she knocked on it and like answered and have that confrontation, but just because somebody wants to have a fight with you doesn't mean that you have to engage with them. If you want to have power in the situation, you have to be the one who decides when and where. And that's just like the power laws in any type of situation, you know? In other news, because I don't want to spend too much time on that, even though there are like some really good lessons to take from the situation, I have my diploma show coming up, which means there might be some art school vlogs. So in Paris, we're currently in confinement, which means we have to be home at like 7 p.m. However, since I have my art studio, like what a freaking blessing. I've been able to stay a bit longer, because if you rent a place out and it's like your office or studio, you can stay longer. So for me, it feels kind of like the same. Like I don't know if you guys could see like or gather from this video, but I feel really lucky because I still have like a little community around me at my art studio. And tonight we're having cinema club. I think we're gonna watch Jesus Camp, which is a documentary. So yeah, tonight, cinema club. These are like the little pleasures when you're in quarantine. It's just like trying to find like little pockets of community where you can. That's why as well, gotta give a shout out to my patrons, because having that little community honestly has saved me through the quarantine, because we have like little Zoom parties, dance parties, and we have like creative small groups and things like that. So I just think it's important, like wherever you are, if you are confined, like try to find like a little pocket of community. But yeah, tonight as well, like with the cinema club, we're having like a little drink at our residency. So maybe I'll film a little bit of that for you guys. But if not, I will end it here. And I want to say thank you guys so much for all of the love and support these last few weeks. I've really felt it. And I just feel so grateful as well to be a part of your journey. Like when I get comments from you guys saying that like my videos have helped you in some way, or that you feel like you have a friend to talk to, you're not alone, it really inspires me to share like the real and vulnerable parts of my journey, like the bad parts too. To let you guys know that like it's normal, and like we all go through shit, and life can't be perfect 100% of the time. And I'm just really grateful to have you guys as a friend. And I almost forgot, if you made it to the end, my real Palace fam, I love you guys so much for watching to the end every time. If you made it, leave a comment that says, we are free, because we are free. And that is the greatest gift of all, is no matter what the outcome is, just feeling free and unattached to any sort of situation, and just feeling like we are like happy like every day just to wake up and be alive. Like that's what I want for us. I want for us like every day to be a good fucking day, because it doesn't matter what happens that day, because we are alive, baby. Okay, we are free. Have a beautiful week. Bye.